What's up, magic makers? This is, of course, my third installment and hopefully the last installment in this Get the Hell Out of My Life series I'm working on. Of course, today I am doing my swamp water jar. Before that, real quick, I want to make a little announcement. This Friday, so May 18th, I will be co-hosting a live with Brittany from SkittleKat Spiritual. The loose topic is crystals. The show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm sorry I cannot convert that. I do not know time zones, but it'll go on for an hour and a half, so at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time it'll be over. So anyone who's interested in an interactive discussion with two silly witches about crystals, I will leave a link in the description for her advertisement of it. Yeah, so let's get on with it and make a swamp jar. All right, so here we go. The lighting is a little better today. It's overcast outside, so I could have the curtain open without the sun blaring in. First things first, of course, I have a jar. And quickly, per usual, I'll go over my ingredients. I have cloves, and that's for protection, warding, and banishing. Plus, cloves look like little nails. They're all spiky. I have star anise, anise, however you pronounce that. That's for protection, defensive magic, and banishing. I have some lemon balm, which is for success in the spell and banishing. And I have some blackberry bramble. You know, if it has a specific magical property, I don't know it. It's just really nasty. Very, very spiky, prickly. Even the leaves have small thorns on them. So if you're going to work with this, just be careful. Know that it is going to bite you. I have some wild thistle here. My witchy friend, when she brought me the swamp water, brought me some wild thistle, but this is one I had already harvested the day that I did the hot foot jar because it's had a little bit of time to dry out, whereas hers is really fresh and wet still. But it could be used for protection. I'm, again, just mainly using it because it's nasty. My goal with this jar is to make it uncomfortable. It is not okay for you to be here. It would not feel good for this individual to come to my house to seek me out. Here I have some cactus needles, and this is a little sand spur from the yard. Broken glass. It's pretty glass, but it's broken glass. I've got some little nails here. I've got some what I refer to as iron nuggets here. And iron, of course, is good for protection, defensive magic. It adds strength and is grounding, so it'll ground my jar to the space where it's at, to my yard. I also have two herbs that I normally don't work with. My husband and I work with different herbs, and he threw a couple things in. He gave me this devil's claw to use, and this is what it looks like. Kind of like high john or low john, but has powerful protective properties. So it's good for dispelling enemies. So yeah. Cinquefoil, I believe is how that is pronounced, but I'm not sure. But it's also called 5 fingers grass. And this is what it looks like. And it is good for warding off evil, among other things. I'm not really trying to ward off. I wouldn't go so far as to call my father evil, but it'll get the job done, hopefully. I have this piece of tiger's eye, and I'm using that for protection and to amplify the spell's energy. I have this piece of agate, and I have many pieces of agate, but this is the one that wanted to go in the swamp jar. I don't know, it looks kind of swampy itself. Maybe that's why, but really energetically, it was the one that I couldn't let go of. So this is to add longevity to the spell. And of course, we have the swamp water itself. This swamp water is from a place called Archer's Creek. And apparently that was the line here where I live in North Carolina where the Confederacy and the Union met. So it's a battle energy, a war energy kind of thing going on, I think is the implication with that. And this swamp water comes from Black Swamp near where I live, which is where my swamp witchy friend was actually raised, born and raised. Then I'm not going to show you, but this on the other side is a picture of my father. It is a picture, a military picture, so it actually has his name and rank and all that stuff from when he was in, but I'm still going to, in black, write his names, his birth name and his legal name now, on the back in black. And then in red, I'm going to write over it what it is I want and fold it in half away from me and stick it in the middle of the jar. I'm going to do that first, so I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to, when I finish, I'm going to bury this at the very front edge of my property. My father lives like 7 minutes away by car from where I live. So he can show up on my doorstep anytime he feels like it. So that's the main reason why I'm taking all of these steps. It would be one thing if we lived in separate states or something, but he's literally right down the street. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this agate for longevity in here. And then I'm just going to start putting my other stuff in. I'm not the kind of witch that uses measurements. I do everything by how it feels energetically to me. So I am just going to be dumping stuff in, all my ingredients. And then afterward, I'm going to see if I'm happy with the way it feels. And if so, then I'll add my water, go ahead and add my water. And if not, I'll try to figure out what is missing, what I need more of, and get that in there. This cinquefoil reminds me of mugwort. It's sort of the way mugwort clings to itself and seems kind of hairy. And I've never worked, I have no idea how much of this I need. I have no energetic bond with this herb. Nails. Actually, that feels pretty amazing. I was expecting to need to add something, but I'm not going to, except for the tiger eye. That feels really, really strong. So my Swamp Witchy's friend's suggestion was that I use this water because it's battle water, what have you, but I want to use both. And by the size of this jar, I definitely needed to use both. I would have liked to fill it to the top, but that's all right. It's just one ingredient in this spell. The swamp water is to kind of bog it down, to make it stagnant. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna feed it and then immediately take it and bury it out in my front yard. So that's my swamp jar, guys. Thanks for checking it out. And of course, until next time, much love and gratitude.